Okay, one more for good measure, because we had some Bruce Boudreau comments that went out there and dived into the situation even further. This is another thing. Not necessarily like the video earlier today, which talked about JT Miller and his play yesterday against Utah, the lack of line changes and the power play positioning, but also we are finally focusing on Elias Pettersson as well. This guy. The guy that I think many Canucks fans are divided on. You have some that are saying, hey, he is the face of the franchise to be. He is going to be the number one impact playmaking, sniping, all around, every situation, top tier caliber forward on this squad. And you've got others saying that his impact might not necessarily be too high of a ceiling, how he might not be the kind of guy that leads a team to the promised land, how he is expendable and the Canucks should move on from him over Miller, who brings heart. I've seen both comment sections fill up and a lot of people defending both points of views, but Jason Bruff went out there and tweeted this, that these guys need to figure out how to work together because most teams would kill to have a 1-2 combo down the middle with that sort of potential. The other part of my brain says, trade both of these babies. Now, let's dive into the Bruce Boudreau comments. Oh, by the way, look at this. Wyatt. The Brett the Hitman Hart Montreal Screwjob Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels Survivor Series going out there. The boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels, everybody. He's just a sexy boy. Anyways, let's go out there and read some comments made by Bruce Boudreau. Boudreau said he likes both Pettersson and Miller, and he doesn't want to dig for details because he doesn't want to find out that one is being a butthead to the other one. Now, I don't know if Taj is using the direct words that Boudreau ended up saying on the broadcast in this tweet, but butthead, that is such a Bruce Boudreau thing to go out there and say. Furthermore, this is what Boudreau said. This is all on overdrive, by the way, on if the Canucks need to address the Elias Pettersson, JT Miller problem. The easy answer would be yes, it is a problem. I knew they had a little bit of a problem between them before I got there, but I thought that was straightened out. You thought wrong, Bruce, Taj comments on. Boudreau said the people have asked him to call to get the tea on Miller and Elias Pettersson, but he doesn't want to find out if they're having a problem. He wants to dig his head in the sand and not know because he likes both of them. And that is a very Bruce Boudreau thing as well. We can acknowledge that even though Boudreau's style of hockey may not have been all too good for the Canucks in the long run, it was still very lovable at a time, and his personality will always be the way it is, and a lot of people definitely like listening to Boudreau because of it. But hey, he's a man who was on the inside. He had himself the scoop as to what was going on for a good chunk of time. It's very interesting. Yeah, I knew they had a bit of a problem between them before I got there. So even with the Travis Green days going on, there was still a little bit of tension. Let's go out there and do some more here. Thomas Drance tweeted this out, that Elias Pettersson is the most overqualified power play 2 player in the league. I was getting texts from all around the league asking what's going on. It's odd, it's notable, it's something other people around the league are noticing as being odd and notable. It's wild. And then you had this bombshell of a video clip dropped out by Donnie and Dhali. 4 minutes and 33 seconds long. Rick Dhaliwal has the Hawaiians tropical flannel on over there. Flannel? Nah, it's just a regular old button-up shirt. But this isn't media fabrication. Dhaliwal is very adamant in today's early Donnie and Dhali segment that the entire Pettersson-Miller thing is not media stirring up the pot and doing what media does. In fact, we have Vancouver Canucks News Summary that went out there and summarized the video clip in question. I'll leave a link in the description to this video by itself, but also we're going to read this here on the video too. The Miller and Pettersson dynamic is not a media fabrication. Dhaliwal has said that this situation has gone back as far to when Travis Green was coaching the team. Bruce Boudreau even said in radio hits that there were issues, and there are issues between the two guys. The management team, the owner, the agents, and the players, they all know about it. Online trolls that hate JT Miller are feeding into this, and Dhaliwal even says that there's like a very few particular Twitter accounts, maybe like 5 or 6 of the same guys that are always going out there and tweeting about JT Miller. They're hating the JT Miller contract, they're hating the JT Miller position on the team, and Dhaliwal is saying, hey, those people on social media, they love this stuff. They love the conflict. They love getting the opportunity to talk smack about JT. Every guy in the dressing room needs to be pulling in the same direction, Dhaliwal says. Boudreau thought the relationship between Miller and Pettersson was rectified, but it's apparently not. Dhaliwal does not understand as well why both of these guys, Miller and Petey, signed long-term deals if they dislike each other. Not everyone gets along in a dressing room, but you have to do your job. You need to play for the crest on the front of your jersey, and you need everyone to play on your team, whether you like them or not. And I think a lot of these sentiments are things that we have been cultivating amongst ourselves too. We've been speaking some of these same ideas. Hey, you're not gonna like all your coworkers. Hey, you're not gonna always get along with everybody. But it gets even crazier when it's the main Vancouver Canucks insiders that are tweeting out about this stuff and talking about it in the media. There was another video here that I wanted to go out there and talk about. This was from the R Canucks subreddit. Where is it here? Not really too sure where it is. Yes, here it is. Rick Dhaliwal clarifies the Miller-Pettersson situation. This is just the audio. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Rich T, who had just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Nice to see that over here. But this video isn't really a video, it's just a black screen, and it's the same audio that we had seen of that Vancouver Canucks hit from Rick Dhaliwal, but some of the comments here go out there and talk about some of the same things. I love Dhali, but man, you can't be surprised that people are skeptical when we have one of the most hockey-crazy markets, and we've heard stuff before, like Schneider and Luongo not getting along, Quinn Hughes being on an IV with COVID, Bo Horvat being the problem in the locker room, etc., because it does seem like there are a few people that are maybe more skeptical about this stuff than not. I'm a diehard Canucks fan, and I spend way more time thinking and talking about this team than I should. I have zero interest in this whole TMZ gossip girl type stuff. Dhaliwal sounds pissed about the media part, but can you blame anyone for being skeptical? After the Sekera stuff about the locker room rift between Horvat and Miller, I don't fault anyone for being skeptical. Well, maybe Sekeres was right too? There is a common denominator here after all. I mean, two teams booted the guy, and then there may be locker room issues here, which included a very public leave of absence, and this fan base is still no-no in its media? To me, at least there seems like there's a very clear pattern. Now, to expand on this idea, I wanted to go over to one Reddit thread on the R Canucks sub. Is it possible that JT Miller is the problem? I love Miller, he's my new favorite Canuck, he is tough, he's truculent, just what I like in a hockey player. However, I cannot help but notice some trends. It seems like we were playing a lot better when he wasn't around. It also seems like Petey was the player we want him to be when Miller was away. Now he's back to who he was earlier in the season. Whatever is going on with this guy seems like it could be affecting the rest of the team. As much as I hate to admit it, it seems like he is a problem. What do the rest of you think? Top Reply says, people are going to crap on you, but he is definitely the problem. The team vibe shifted as soon as he returned. There is something going on between him and Petey, and it's not going to be fixed with a team therapy session. This will end with one of them being traded. And then to end this video off, we'll go over some anecdotes. So I work in construction, and I used to work with this guy who was probably the best guy on the crew in terms of skill and dedication, but he was an absolute nightmare to be around. All day was screw this, screw that, every small mistake he had a temper tantrum. We eventually had to let him go because nobody would work with him, and he just dragged everyone around him down. I get the exact same vibe with Miller, which sucks because like this other guy, he is probably our best player not named Quinn Hughes. I have worked with similar people. It's not worth dragging everyone down to keep one good worker around. And so at the end of the day, I want you to come to your own conclusions. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Firstly, about what Bruce Boudreau had been talking about on Overdrive in regards to Miller and Petey. Secondly, what Dhaliwal had spoken about in regards to their dynamic. And thirdly, whether or not JT Miller actually is a problem, quote unquote. I know some of y'all might be giving me flack for making two videos back-to-back about the same thing, but look, there was a pretty different dynamic in both of these commentaries. The last one was more so speaking about Miller and the ice time against Utah. This one was more about the dynamic with him and Pettersson, and some extra comments from Bruce Boudreau. There's just too much gosh darn content to be making about this team, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And by.